So I imagine a lot of men, whether they're in the top 10% or not, however you want to explain those numbers, has been an alpha to some woman where that man was their peak.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I still agree that, the proportions are like there's certain men who have a lot more of that persona than others. But like, let's say if I was, I don't know where I rank. People might gauge me.
Well, really, it comes down to how the man makes a woman feel.
Understood. That's what I'm saying. So if a man has access to a particular woman, whatever range she is in the dating pool, he might be able to make her feel some type of way because of how he connects with her.
Yeah.
Right? And because of that, he raises the bar for her in her mind.
Oh, yeah.
But that man might not necessarily be a bar raiser to another woman.
Correct.
Right? So I think we're all kind of jumbling what a standard is, regardless of where a man might place themselves.
And that's where guys get caught up.
Okay.
Because they get caught up on a lot of this external stuff.
Yeah.
They're like, oh man, I'm only 5'9".
Yeah.
Right?
You could have rocked somebody's world at 5'9".
No, but for the most part, women don't care.
Women don't care about what?
How tall you are. I mean, unless you're like really, really short.
On paper, they do.
Yeah, on paper they do. They actually don't care.
And what are you basing that off of?
The fact that I know how women work. They work on how you make them feel.
Of course.
Your height isn't going to make them. It's from a distance. Just like see a dude who's like tall and like it's attention grabbing. And she, woo, like look at that tall guy.
That's what I mean by on paper. So
right.
for you to even get in a room to compete and get to the point where you're interacting with her feelings, sometimes the cover of the book will get you through the door. Right?
Yeah, but if you have a poor relationship with yourself, you have no game. Then,
of course, you're not staying in a room.
Right.
That's what I say. That's what I say when it comes to women.
They're great for attention, or you've got like a great job, you've got a nice car, whatever. Yeah. Sure. Like that works as an attention grabber.
Yes.
Okay. But that doesn't guarantee quality.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's where a lot of dudes fall short. I was working with a dude who he owned a penthouse in Manhattan. He was part of a car club. So he had like access to every awesome vehicle you possibly have. Mm-hmm. He was an entrepreneur and he had access to extremely beautiful women, all 10s. Mm-hmm. And he couldn't keep them. And he was like, what am I doing here? Like, I've got all the things, like, and also genetically gifted. Like, he was tall. I mean, not super tall, but he was like 6'1" or 6'2". Great aesthetic. Okay. Just by nature. And so on paper, he should be winning, but he wasn't. He wasn't.
So
winning.
was it okay? So I have a rebuttal to that, right?
Yeah.
So is it because he didn't have what it takes to keep a woman?
Mm-hmm.
That's option number one.
All right.
Or he himself was alpha widowed, meaning I happen to think that, and I'm saying this from experience. Sometimes when you have too much access to too many women, right? Your bar just keeps becoming an unreachable thing, right? So he might have like...
Well, men have their own hypergamy as well.
What do you mean?
Like, you're familiar with hypergamy.
Sure.
Yes. Men have hypergamy as well.
In what sense? Explain.
Well, it's not in the way for women, which is like provision and things like that, security, social standing, and so on. Ours is like attractiveness, health, marriageability, things like that. So you could be like starting like low level, you're like messing with like 3s and 4s, and then you like start building yourself and having great access. Your network starts growing, your social circle starts growing. You're like, oh, now I've got access to that chick. She's like a 5'6".
Exactly.
And it just keeps going and going and going.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But that's not getting widowed.
In either case, the point is he's had access to so many great looking women, whether they were good people or not, that's a different conversation. But he might have access to women that are stimulating him in a particular way. And there might be certain women that stimulate him so much that, let's say, that one person might have gone away for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. Everybody else doesn't really seem worth spending time with. Yeah. Right?
Well, usually it's him, though, when they go away.
Sure. But even if they do, he might not even find satisfaction with those women that he's calling a 10.
Right.
And that's probably contributing to why he's probably not like putting in any real effort to secure any one of them. Because let's be honest,
but in his case,
okay.
I definitely know what you're saying,
okay.
and I'm pretty sure it exists.
Mm-hmm.
But in his case, he couldn't keep them, right?
Okay.
He wanted to, like he really wanted to. He wanted a wife.
So what was he doing? What was he doing wrong?
He couldn't keep them because inside he was still a nice guy. He still had nice guy syndrome despite being born with great genetics.
So you're telling me
great career
a guy with that kind of money,
yeah,
penthouse in Manhattan,
yeah,
you know, cars, money, good looks, and this, that, and the third. And I know those guys. Like, you're saying, despite the fact that he had all these external assets, that men are chased around for.
Correct.
Right? Like women seek those types of attributes on paper.
Because to them, in their heads, they start equating that with a real man.
Who?
Women.
Okay.
Right? In their heads, they start equating those things. They're like, oh, he's tall. Then they start associating a feeling with that.
Yeah.
Like, I can feel safe with a tall guy, not knowing that he's a complete wimp. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and the same sort of thing happens with his appearance, with finances, with his home, like all these things. They're just these visual markers that then get cast into fantasies with emotional attachments to them, which turns into beliefs.
Okay.
Right. So they start looking at these guys with a belief about them. Then when they start having interaction, that's when it shatters. That's when the belief gets shattered, and they're like, oh, like he's just like every other guy. He just has great genetics, great opportunities with work, and so on and so on. And he just happened to have this.
Yeah.
But inside, he's still just as simpy as all the other dudes that hit me up. He just has a better lifestyle.